had mobile websites for, 4 or 5 years, M sites. And they just kind of, putted along, and there were people using those. But it was really the iPhone and the explosion that came off the back of smartphones generally, where we started to see massive take-up of consumption of news on those sites. At this stage, it's around 30%, 30 to 35% of smartphones, but they're consuming about 80% of the pages. So their consumption of a smartphone is much, much higher than of just an ordinary phone. This audience is now getting to a critical mass. So every month on our M sites, we have more than 1 million unique browsers. Okay, so we have by far market share of the mobile audience around the news and information space. Once you get to 1 million people coming to your websites every month, that's when you can start to have some really compelling messages with advertisers, because 1 million people, there's some real money to be made there. Fairfax itself has shipped more than 1 million applications into the market, so we're a really prolific publisher of apps. What we're seeing in the advertising space, particularly around mobile, is that we're moving more away from just one-off sponsorships to long-term partnerships. That's a really nice way to build alliances together between two companies that are serving the same audience. So we're starting to see a little bit more intelligence in the way that agencies are using mobile advertising, but it's still really early days. We've kind of moved on a little bit in mobile again from just buttons and banners, the same way that we did on the PC, and we're seeing more interactive ad formats on mobile. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting conversation around the Android era. Apple is pretty much a closed shop. You go through the App Store or nothing, that's it. With Android, it will be a different set of conversations, and we are in those conversations with the Telstras and the Vodafones and Optuses and the likes of the carriers. So they're very open to having those conversations with us, as we are with them, and they're ongoing. Stories that are more personalised, so perhaps more specific to the location that you're in. They're looking for stories that have more links to social, Facebook, Twitter, to sharing, to emailing, to having conversations attached to those. That doesn't necessarily change the journalism, it changes the way that we present the text and pictures and video. And the style of writing is a shorter, sharper, soundbitey kind of style, more than longer pars or longer stories. The mobile device is really at this stage a companion to longer pieces online or in print, and that's going to be a slight nuance that I think will change over the next 12 to 18 months, where mobile is the destination rather than a companion, and that again will impact the style of journalism. It doesn't yet, but again I think that social, local, some of those aspects of these devices are going to have to start featuring more prominently in the way that we both write and present content to these mobile audiences. So another of the behaviours that we're seeing in mobile obviously is powered by a lot of the terrible weather events that we're having lately, and particularly when those weather events happen over a weekend, such as the Queensland floods. Because people aren't sitting in front of their desks at their PCs, they still have that same news snacking habit where they want to go back in and check what's happened to the stories 5 or 6 times a day. So to compensate for not being in front of their PC, they're using the mobile sites and mobile applications to do that. And once they download and subscribe to the mobile applications or come to the M sites after those weather events, they tend to stay. So one of the reasons that weather is such a popular application for us is because of the personal nature of weather. So weather is all about what I wear, do I take an umbrella, what am I going to do today, is it going to be inside or outside, and that really is what weather means to people. It's a very personal type of application, and that makes it absolutely perfect for mobile phones and mobile devices. And I think that really is what has powered that massive take-up of the Weather Zone application in a really short period of time.